Hello, welcome back everybody. Oasis Digital here with some more Angular Bootcamp curriculum. I'm Jack Balbus.
Kyle Cordes.
Lance Finney.
Chris Arden.
Zachary Kipping.
And for this episode, we're going to be discussing another branch that Zachary has from one of your previous classes that you just taught, right?
Yep.
That's where all these are coming from. And for this one, we're going to be taking a look at some of our more complex observable examples. So what's going on here, Zachary?
So there's two main things. The first thing, I would say, let's look at the diff, just so we can look at the changes. So
Maybe like the combined diff.
yeah, I'll do the combined diff because
You got to click on one and then control click on the base. Yeah.
Which is master.
Yeah.
so one of the main things was that we're losing our type throughout the entire thing because our result is going to be like.
So it's not really
Yeah.
that we're losing the type,
Well,
it's
not yet,
that
it's just
if
we
the
don't
form
have a
control
type.
never gives it to us in the beginning.
Okay. So you wanted to preserve the types throughout our observable pipeline. Any other problems that you're trying to solve here?
And then also the debounce time. We lost, originally we had functionality where we could do certain things because of the debounce time and its location, but now that its location is more downstream versus upstream, we were losing some of that functionality, so I moved it back upstream.
So we got to talk through the semantics of the debounce.
Yes.
Well, let's work on the type first.
Yeah,
since
type
you
is
mentioned
a
it
simple
first.
low-hanging fruit thing.
So that is in here, right?
Correct.
So this valid search.
I have to raise an objection. I don't like typing my code in a way that Prettier makes it horrible to look at.
Yeah, that is bad with Prettier.
Yeah.
So I want to find a way to do that.
So
It is not offensive to the eye.
let's remove the explicit type on like 39 to 41 and just try to find ways.
Let's start with the easy one up top.
Well, okay.
I think that's might just be because how zoomed in we are. But
So to start with, is that parameterized? And can we explicitly say string there?
Well, wait a second.
Okay.
What type is it? So so this is the problem we need to fix, right?
yeah,
The
because
fact
there's
that
an
it comes-
observable value.
Okay, so what happens if you say start with string? Can you say start with string? Or does it have to be?
Oh, okay, that's better.
So
There you
that's
Yeah.
so that was enough.
And
Right.
then we can probably do the same exact thing with the other one. I'd assume.
And we might be able to get rid of the as string.
Well, and this is
That's what I was just wondering.
Okay.
But let's do it in both places
also,
first.
you might want to do an auto format at some point just in case I don't know what changed up there. Okay, so we have the same problem there where it thought valid search was an observable any.
Correct.
Yeah, now it knows it's a string.
Now, can we
And
get
now
rid
can
of
we
the
get rid
as
of the
strings?
casting?
So,
What was the?
yeah.
No.
Yeah, now it
It's
says
because of the way RxJS typing, it can't differentiate between the overloaded methods
Yeah.
if it has an any type.
If we do that, it's fine.
Backwards.
Now hover valid search though.
But it is
Ah.
correct.
Mm.
See, no, that's not fine
Oh,
because
that's not.
that is
Yeah.
not fine.
yeah.
Yeah, we really want to force it to be string.
Yeah.
Well,
And because we have to do this because we've told it this is going to get a string, and if it's going to get a string, we got to hand it a string. And this.search.value is not a string unless you coerce it to a string.
So what are the two types? The start with it takes 2 in its parameter. What are the two? Can you control click on start with and let's go into
Yeah, the
the
RxJS
deck.
types.
Okay. So if you give it exactly 2, the second one is what it's getting. Can you scroll to the right?
Looks like you can give it. If you get it 2, it's the same as giving it the same one twice.
So the first one is what it's returning and the second is what it's getting. Is that correct?
So did I have it backwards then?
No.
Or no?
I think we need to look at
Actually,
the documentation for start with.
Well,
Maybe I should put string twice.
No, it would be string any.
So what did you tried any string?
Yeah.
Do
Try string any.
Yeah.
And what is it saying it isn't?
What problem are you trying to solve?
To get rid of
No.
the deprecation.
hang it.
Yeah, I think it's wrong. I think you should just say observable string. I don't think you need to say string because that's the same as saying string.
Well, except
No, this is.
I don't
No,
even
it
try
It
says-
should be the
string
same, but
better.
it's not.
See, it thinks it can't differentiate
So-
any from scheduler like. So it thinks you're passing in a scheduler.
Hover over
You're
and
not passing in.
Oh.
hover over value.
Okay,
Value should be an any.
Yeah, it's just a
You see, if
type of-
things like stop trying to solve the problem by adjusting the start with. The start with is not the problem. The problem is that this is like a long-standing reactive forms issue
Yeah.
that they're untyped.
Right.
Yeah.
And so
Right.
at the point of consumption, yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
like,
I
you
like
have to
this.
convert.
yeah,
Or
because
yeah.
like we're not trying to like trick it downstream with our start with
Right.
typing.
Right.
We're just acknowledging at the moment we said it, man, we really wish
Yeah.
this was typed.
Anytime
Yeah,
you
it
pass
could be
an
like an
any
object
or
or anything, right?
undefined or null into a start with, you have to do a cast.
Okay.
Even
Alright.
if it's null or undefined, you have to cast it too.
Yeah.
Strictly speaking, it's a type assertion. In Java, it's a cast.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I got a cast.
Casts and
I know.
annotations.
So we're gonna call this like the Java refugee podcast or something.
Yeah.
Okay, so does this fix all of our typing?
I believe
Or
so.
the
Now,
need
combined
for that?
criteria
Is
is
observable.
an observable
Yeah.
of the right thing. Results
Yeah.
is an observable of the right thing. So I like this a lot better.
How
Yeah.
about doing a compile lint commit? You don't need to push, but compile lint commit. And
Was it compile?
yeah, that's good enough. Yeah. And how long does it take to compile? Is
It took it a while.
Does
I
it?
actually
Sorry
opened
about
up a
that.
second window
Oh,
to do the linting and
Oh, that's
everything
funny.
else simultaneously.
yeah,
Or
clever.
I guess I should do
Yarn.
yarn.
Yarn
Yarn
lint
lint.
is enough, right? Yeah. So, so that finished, and then this one here hopefully will finish also, and hopefully find it will be good, and you'll be able to commit it.
Prettier.
Prettier.
Oh yeah, yeah. At some point I found a way to make that more automatic. Although since you only changed one file, if you use the formatter in the IDE that is calling Prettier,
Yeah,
you're fine. Yeah.
usually, unless
yeah.
you're.
In,
Well,
Sometimes your IDE mismatches.
Yeah.
With the,
Or if you're like working on a lot of files, it's really easy to forget to do one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I've done that
I have it
more than
set
once.
on my other computer
Okay.
that I use more
Yeah.
to automatically Prettier every time I save.
That's great.
So I just never
That's
think
really
about
great. Okay, so let's just fix types or something, and so then we can go on to the next conversation without accidentally breaking our fix. And you don't need to push it because it'll just cause an unnecessary build. Okay, so then what was the other question we wanted to ask or work with on this? About the timing of the observable?
it was the timing of the outputs, essentially, of the entire combined stream.
When do we do bounce?
Yeah,
The
basically,
debounce,
when we
okay.
debounce.
So
So
I'm sorry, were you
debounce
saying that
got
it got
moved.
removed before and you were moving it back?
So at one point, we slightly redid the step, and we moved the debounce downstream for whatever reason. It was the same time where we got rid of like some of the extra bloat and some of these things because we reworked it a little bit.
So valid subreddit is not debounced, but valid search is.
Right.
Subreddit is a drop down, so
That's true.
Yeah.
There's no reason to debounce a drop down.
And same with distinct into a change. There's no reason to put that on a drop down because you can't select the same thing twice, which is
So
why we
the-
removed a lot of that.
And so the combined latest and the call to the back end is all down on line, like south of line 45, right?
Yeah.
And so where are you proposing to move?
It's
where-
already, it's
the-
already,
it's
it's already.
So where
moved.
was it
Move it.
before?
Before it was right here-ish.
It was,
Or it was
before the
here.
switch.
It was in here.
Yeah.
I like it where you put it.
Because like
Okay.
we're running into a situation where like since we did the whole map to a new object every single time,
Yeah.
like it literally did nothing. The debounce time.
You're saying it was broken?
Like if we it wasn't like broken per se, but like the functionality we had before where we could like type something in, keep as long as we keep typing for a bit, and if we went back to our old value, like so let's say we typed in dog, right?
Okay, but that, like the thing you're describing, I explicitly don't care about.
Okay.
The case where somebody like the thing I'm trying to prevent is just like needlessly spamming the thing as you type. But like it's like a severe edge case that like it said dog and I went back cat CAT back dog real quick. Like oh sorry yeah I don't want to do that. Like that's such a weird edge case that if somebody like
I guess.
entered that as a bug, I would probably just like reject it as not a bug if I was like a PM on a project. I'd be like, why would we even care about such a rare edge case?
We did at one point, that's all I really do.
Well, we might have accidentally handled it, but that doesn't
Okay.
mean we ever cared.
Okay.
So I don't think that case alone is enough to justify one versus the other. So like, what's the actual semantic difference?
Are we
Yeah.
saying that? Oh wait, no. I was gonna. I was getting confused. I was thinking if it was distinct until changed was on the combined, every time it gets a completely different object, so distinct until changed would always be useless.
Yes, because like the whole thing was to have the debounce time plus distinct until changed. But
Yeah.
that's typically what I do on all my controls. Is that I don't want
do it that way too.
because I do a debounce before the distinct until change, so that if there is a same value that comes out, I don't want that to propagate outward.
I feel like the way you have it makes more sense because it's the debounce and the distinct until change are relevant because they're typing into a text input, and so putting them closer to the thing they're relevant to
Yeah,
makes
great.
more sense.
That's really good. So scroll up just a little bit. So you're saying because that way it's so closely associated with the fact that it's coming from a text input.
Yeah.
So is the order of what remains in there, lines 39 through 42, is that all a good order? Is there any reason for any further permutation?
It looks good to me.
And what's the benefit of having the debounce before versus after the distinct until changed?
You won't get any outputs from things that don't change after debounce. So like if you do like, I know we don't technically care about it, but we get the functionality of if you type dog backspace and type dog again, you won't hit the API again.
Gotcha. Okay. Which is it's nice. It's just not critical. Okay.
Yeah.
And then the way that we're filtering, is that the idiomatic way to?
I mean,
like, is that the right point to do that?
I guess technically we could do the filter before the debounce time and stuff. That doesn't matter.
So I think the reason we called this valid search is we want to only emit an actual valid search.
Right.
So we're filtering out and what would be an invalid search.
Yeah, so just be empty.
So Chris, you said this matches like what you've
this is
landed out on like banging it out on real projects.
Yeah, I mean this is exactly how I would write it.
This is what
battle
I do too.
tested testers have blessed the approach.
Yeah, this is how I would do it.
When it's thumbs up to me then. Is there anybody with any?
I'm having trouble finding a snarky thing to say, so I think we're good.
Okay.
Try harder though.
Oh wait, was that one of them?
See that the combined latest? Is it? I'm trying to figure out. Is there any? Like you see how we like the pipe map to turn the array tuple, I guess, into an object? Is that just so that we can write some more nice idiomatic code on line 52?
I think it's because that's literally the payload, pretty much.
Well, I mean, we could get rid of the pipe and map on line 48, and then what the value would come in, it would come in as a tuple instead of being an object that has the two
We
things.
could use destructuring on 51 instead.
Yeah, so that was my question.
I think that might be
That's
better.
what I would.
I make use of this to talk about destructuring with students, and I end up talking for about 5 minutes explaining line 48 and explaining why the parentheses are there surrounding the curly braces and all these things. So there's a lot of interesting things that are in this line, but I don't think it's actually useful.
Yeah, and I mean this is buried in the middle of a really complicated file anyway.
Yeah.
So I think doing the destructuring on line 51 would be simpler.
So regardless of simpleness, would that provide a sufficient opportunity to talk about the destructuring?
I think so.
I think it would. So, I mean, we lose the instantly returning an object, so you have to wrap it in parentheses. But
you have to work with your
arrow function detail.
Yeah, work with your arrow function syntax a little bit down there. Is that?
No, he's got it.
No,
it's right.
Yeah, see, and you still have destructuring.
Yeah. This would be easier to teach because it has less other concepts.
Also, why do we... I feel like it just adds more noise to have the combined latest assigned to a combined criteria constant and then piped off of.
So the reason we did that is to provide more points at which you can talk about what this observable is.
Okay.
You could tap it, you could subscribe it, you could hover and see its type.
Okay.
See, that would be the reason why we
that.
do it the other way, is because then the observable that you end up with is easier to grok than the observable that you end up with in this configuration.
What does it look
It's
like?
just a tuple,
What does it say if you
hover
hover over combined latest? Like, what is it?
It's a tuple.
The problem is that it's observable string, which doesn't tell you what the strings are.
Yeah.
Right.
And so the reason why, I mean, I probably wrote it, the other one. The reason why I kind of like that, which may be wrong now, is that if I was going to do anything else in the world with that, I'd much rather have a type and have named fields Because if I like pass it around my app, like if you just
Yeah.
like pass a two tuple with two strings around your app, the chance of somebody using them the wrong way is like, well, I mean, 50-50 at best. The people,
Especially if they're the same exact type. in
yeah,
most cases.
right. Whereas if you like give them a name, subreddit and search, the chance of them using the right one is really quite high.
Yeah, I think if we were to go this way, we should go all the way and just not have this be a const.
Yeah, and I mean, we used
Just
to have it not be
streamline
a const, and I think people found it's easier to teach with it a const.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you think? Old way or new way?
I mean, I like the example of having like how to return an object with the arrow
So,
function.
so old way. You like old way?
For the purposes of teaching, yes.
Yeah.
So this is a spot where we have a kind of conflict in some of our core values that we have for the curriculum, which is we want to have clear examples that we can like chop up into bite-sized pieces and talk
Yeah.
about little pieces of them.
Yeah.
And the way that it was written previously does that.
Yeah.
What this is moving towards is toward one of our other principles, which is write code as we would write it in a custom project.
Right.
Right.
I actually kind of would like it if I was code
Yeah.
reviewing the other one, I don't think I would gripe to change to this one anyway. I'm not sure if I would gripe to this one to change to the old, but like, I kind of feel like in a enterprise project, lots of people working on it, having the more clear type that has the named things is kind of good.
So let me rephrase this. So if we were working on a customer project, and we did something like specifically having it look like this,
Mm-hmm.
we would probably say, please collapse this into just one pipeline. Right? There isn't a motivated reason to split it up besides the fact that this is
And actually,
code.
The motivated
I
reason
did-
is to give it a name.
I actually did this in what you guys both approved this morning, because for the big thing where I changed it to create a table at the end of a complicated pipe. The only thing that's really reactive in that table that it creates is the row definition. And so I had const rows or something is equal to this. And then I piped off the rows to create the table. So I actually did just this.
So that you could grab off that one and do something with it.
And I didn't do anything else with it. It was just to be more explicit that
Yeah.
this thing here is creating the rows.
To give it a name.
To give it a name.
Right.
And then
Okay.
below,
Right.
I'm using the rows to create the rest of the table from it.
So the thing that I would really
Documentation.
Yeah, the thing that I would get really I'm like the worst code reviewer in the world. Don't let me near enterprise projects, because if somebody wrote this as a single pipeline, and they put a comment in the middle to explain it at what point it was the combined criteria, I would tell them to delete the comment and refactor the code so that the structure of the code and the names in the code can tell the story. Because I hate comments, because comments lie. I do comments only if I have to. So I would do this so that I can give it a name instead of having to explain in a comment at this point in the observable. Like the thing I would
So-
never want to see is a very long, like 5-screen long observable pipeline with like a bunch of narrative comments. I would no, chop it up and give them explicit names so the names are the comments.
So I wonder if
Executable comments.
I wonder if there's some way that we could capture that reasoning here for other people who are looking at this and saying, why is there this additional complexity here when we're just trying to like.
How about a comment that says, we have chosen to, or just trying to think, we don't say chosen,
We are deliberately.
give the combined criteria a name so that it can be discussed and reasoned about more easily for future changes. Name this part of the pipeline in lieu of a separate comment.
So we have a comment
Ne-
saying why we don't have a comment.
The name of this constant,
LIEU.
name of the constant serves as documentation to its purpose, or serves as a something like that.
Yeah, it's hard to.
I don't know.
This reminds me of sometimes when I'm using Facebook Messenger to talk to my wife, I accidentally post something with a typo or something. And it's just like, I don't want to have a conversation about that, so I just delete it. But when it deletes it, it tells her that, you removed something. And she invariably will say, what did you remove? Like, now I have to have a conversation about the thing that I deleted because I didn't want to have a conversation about it.
Yeah.
Why don't you just delete this comment, and if you feel the need, go into the instructor file and give our explanation there. That way, if an instructor wants to know, they can read the instructor file and they'll know.
Fair enough.
Just, I don't know, let's go down there at the end and say, I don't know. So if this works, then this will be another one that could maybe go on proposed master.
I agree.
And then wrap the session and go to the next. Second.
And the only other branch I have now is just random extra things.
Okay.
Uncategorized.
Wait, does this have to do with NGRX store?
This? Where do you see NGRX store?
Line 7.
Huh, interesting. Deliberately is misspelled. You need an E after the T.
This is a very old document.
And you need a period at the end of the line. I don't know if that's why it's yellow.
No, it wants me to. It says my line is too long.
Really?
Oh, because 15 wraps. That's why.
Yeah.
Oh.
Into is one word. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it is funny that this talks about NGRX.
Yeah, I don't know.
Multiple chunks.
Can you
They
s-
can be named and categorized.
Wait, wait, Reddit search doesn't. Oh, the block. Wait, you mean this whole. You mean 400 block? Is that what it's called?
Probably.
Yeah.
Is that even in the 400
That's
block
my
anymore?
that's,
Well,
that's
they're-
600. There's 7 big ones.
They're well separated. It's a 600.
Yeah.
So these all used to be in 400s together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we broke that up.
Okay. So it's just.
We should probably update all of these.
Yeah.
We're just like, what are we doing?
That's the voice of Bill there.
Yes.
So, are we good with this then?
Um,
I don't really get an opinion.
you need a
since I wrote
squash?
it, but
well,
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Let me. History. So, are we on? We're not on proposed master. We've already got one, so we're gonna get squashed anyway. So I'll just make another.
you can amend here.
you can amend it in squash.
The command line option is red.
What's that?
Oh, I was wondering how you do that from the command line.
Rebase interactively.
No, they amend. It's a header.
Oh. Beats me.
I don't know.
I've never done an amend. Well,
Source tree.
I've done amends and like changing the message. I've never done amends of like squash.
Yeah, I almost never amend.
I
'Cause
do
it's
it
too
all the
easy.
time.
It's too easy to accidentally amend back one too far.
Yeah.
Whereas
Oh.
if you
Okay.
commit, then you can go back and you can
Squash.
more carefully know what you're squashing.
Okay.
I also hate it when somebody's working on something and they keep repushing an amended commit.
Yeah.
Because I want to see the incremental changes so I can know what I have to look at.
Mm.
I don't want to re-review the whole commit again.
Well, yeah. I will use amend if I haven't pushed
Yes,
a
that's
PR
the only
yet.
time I've
Once I
never
pushed
did
a
it, yeah.
PR, then I'll do
Sure.
individual commits.
Sure. Okay, so what do we have? Are we?
I was gonna cherry pick onto proposed master.
Yeah, like when you realize you forgot to stage with one file.
What is that?
That's weird. You might just have to rebase it onto if it doesn't want to do its thing. Okay. So is that it for the day, or do we have anything else to look at in another session?
There's one more.
Probably you should
Branch.
stop recording.
Let's say goodbye to everybody, and we'll see you next time.
Alright. Do all the YouTube things, like,
Right.
subscribe, Twitter handles
That
down
way,
below,
over there, who knows?
somewhere. I don't know. There's probably other
Right.
videos over
Right.
there of ours.
But
in
watch
your
ours
suggested
instead.
bar.
Don't watch all those other people's.
Well, they're looking
Only
at
if
us.
they're
so
ours.
Yeah, only watch our videos.
Right.